What's up, family? Today we need to go ahead and talk about some nuclear threats that are being targeted directly to the United States and Ukraine from Russia. We also want to go ahead and talk about how some nuclear bomb secrets are now being shared. I'm going to tell you exactly who those secrets are being shared with, as well as I want to go ahead and tell you how the United States is preparing for what could be World War III. But first off, we do need to go ahead and acknowledge what happened yesterday on Sunday in relation to the former President Donald Trump, in which there was some gunshots that ended up going off near or around at the area of Trump's golf course, in which they are saying that this is a potential assassination attempt, and it ended up happening with not one particular prospect, but two particular prospects. Now, I will say that a lot of people are saying that this is another assassination attempt, but then there are some other groups that are saying that these two other individuals were actually targeting each other. It was just in the same area. And then there's also talks in which Secret Service ended up firing back at these potential individuals that were shooting these guns near the golf course for Donald J. Trump. But anyways, I will say that they did collect one particular gun, which was an AK-47. They are just trying to figure out whether or not it actually had a scope on it, because that is exactly what is lined up with a potential assassination attempt. But the good news is that nothing happened to Donald Trump. Nothing happened to the former president, Donald Trump. So that is some good news. The bad news is that why is this happening? Why is these potential assassination attempts happening so frequently in relation to Donald J. Trump? First, we saw the one that happened a month or two ago, and now it is happening again. The question is, how does Secret Service allow someone to get this close to the president with such a powerful rifle like an AK-47 or an AR-15? Either way, it doesn't matter. No one should be able to come close or within lots of yards, 100 yards or so, in relation to Donald J. Trump. Wouldn't you guys agree? It doesn't matter whether you are a Republican or a Democrat. We don't want anything or any type of violence like this to happen here in the United States. Let me know if you agree with me down below in the comment section, guys. I'm sure you will agree, because we do not need to lose any type of president or former president in this type of fashion. So anyways, like I said, the good news is that nothing is, he is safe. Donald J. Trump is safe, but they are performing an investigation. The FBI is on top of this. They do have one particular person captive, detained right now, asking him more questions, trying to figure out whether or not someone was working with him or if he was actually firing at someone else. It just happened to be in the same place at the same time that Donald J. Trump was actually golfing on his Sunday afternoon. So anyways, guys, we will find out more information sometime today in relation to this investigation. I will keep you guys posted as usual. But now moving on in relation to the nuclear threats that are coming directly from Russia. These are being targeted directly to places like the United States of America as well as Ukraine. We talked about it previously on the video where Putin, the president of Russia, was threatening war on Western allies because of a deal that the U.S. was working on with NATO, which would potentially allow Ukraine to be able to use long-range missiles to be able to shoot directly into Russia. Well, now there are some new concerns, some new developments in relation to what Russia is doing. They're pretty much trying to get a little bit of backup in case they are forced to go to war with Western allies, including the United States. You can see right here that right now the U.S. and the U.K. are now fearing that Russia may be helping Iran's nuclear weapons program. Yes, we've talked about this multiple times in the past for multiple years, in which Iran is working on a nuclear program, a weapons program that could be used for worse. It could be used to target Western allies. And now we're seeing some news directly related to that particular program coming out of Iran. Russia could be helping them, assisting them, providing information to them that would help them promote, push to grow their particular program. It says right here that American and British leaders are growing concerns that Russia may be sharing nuclear secrets with Iran to bolster its weapons program in exchange for ballistic missiles to bomb Ukraine, according to a new report. Now, President Biden and the UK Prime Minister shared their worries privately during a meeting in Washington on this past Friday as the two leaders are talking about how to tighten their military cooperation over the alleged deal between the Kremlin and Tehran. Yes, this is what our sources are telling us, and they're saying that they are definitely working with each other. They are sharing secrets. They are sharing nuclear bomb secrets, or what I say, Russia is sharing these bomb secrets directly with Iran. They already know that they have the support of Iran because Iran does not like the Western allies, specifically the United States as well as Russia. They don't like us as well, even though they are willing to work with the U.S. But anyways, as you can see right here, that the World War III fears are escalating as the West continues to panic over Putin giving Iran nuclear knowledge. The UK and the U.S. are fearing nuclear war as new intelligence shows Russia and Iran continue to bolster each other's arsenals. This is a major warning. This is a huge warning because we haven't seen something like this in quite some time. I would have suspected that Russia was sharing their secrets with China and vice versa, but it looks like Iran is the direct partner. I'm sure that North Korea is also in line with this particular program as well. I'm sure that they are also helping as well. They're building up their allies working together because they already know how big and how large NATO is. So I would only assume that Russia is working with other countries to build up the same type of relationship or the military that the United States has with NATO. But anyways, like I said, the West is panicking right now, not necessarily sure what to be doing. But anyways, like I said, the fears of Russia may be helping Iran's nuclear program. It is escalating. It is escalating more and more as of recently. And now we can see that Putin ally says that Russia is already having the basis to start a nuclear war. They just haven't done so because they really don't want the heat. Let's just go ahead and face it. However, they are not afraid if they are provoked to do such a thing. They've already said, like I told you last week, in which they are saying that if the U.S. go ahead and passes this new bill that would allow Ukraine to send these long-range missiles directly into Russia, Putin and Russia and the Kremlin have already stated that this would be direct terms of nuclear war. This would directly refer to a war, specifically a nuclear war. Let's just face it, the times that we're in right now in 2024, no one is wanting to fight on the ground with machine guns and bombs. They want to fight from a distance, sending off nuclear weapons. I know the United States has their own nuclear weapons as well as Russia has their own, North Korea has their own, and I would only assume that China has their own as well because they continue to steal all of the knowledge, all of the information directly from the U.S. So yes, they probably have these nuclear weapons as well. But anyways, like I said, Putin is saying that they could do it right now, but they are trying to be patient with the United States, with the Western allies before they do such a thing. Right now, they just really want to focus on the war in Ukraine, but it appears that the United States will not butt out of their business. The United States, as well as NATO, continues to provide ammunition, military equipment directly to Ukraine to help them fight off Russia in this long drawn out war that is pretty much going on for 2 years or so. He said right here that authorization NATO weapon strikes in Russia, the U.S. is preparing a major escalation of a global war. Guys, this pretty much says that everything that I've been talking about, that we are headed to a World War III. Will they call it a World War III? It will be considered the World War III, but they could call it something else just to make it a little more fancier. But anyways, right now, the United States, this is how they are dealing with this new information from intelligence that they are working together to increase, to bolster their program. The U.S. is preparing a major escalation of pretty much a global war. It says right here that the United States and the UK are preparing to announce that they will facilitate Ukraine firing NATO weapons deep into Russian territory in the greatest escalation of the war with Russia to date. Guys, if they do that, I would only assume that Russia is going to respond back. They are going to respond first with attacking our military that is based in other countries. And then on top of that, they are going to make a huge signal, a huge sign, sending a long range missile in the direction of the United States. Now, I will say that I don't suspect that this will actually reach the United States, but they are going to send a message, a huge warning, telling the U.S. that they will not back down. They are ready for war. And also they might announce that they have the backings of Iran as well as North Korea, and probably also with China. So anyways, I hope that the United States does not sign this new deal that would allow Ukraine to do such a thing, because that is pretty much the signed signature of a World War III, a global war across the entire nation. This is something that we do not want to see in our lifetime. But again, it looks like we are getting closer and closer every single day, every single month, to a global war specifically related to Russia, China, and of course, yours truly, the United States. It says right here that earlier this week, Ukraine launched its largest volley of explosive drones into Russian mainland to date, resulting in the first fatality in the Russian capital of Moscow and the destruction of dozens of homes of innocent civilians. Commenting on the expected announcements by NATO officials, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that if this decision is made, it will mean nothing less than the direct participation of NATO countries, the U.S. and European countries, in the conflict in Ukraine. He went on to add that the direct participation, of course, significantly changes the very essence, the very nature of this conflict. Within the Russian political establishment, there are growing demands from or for Russia to retaliate against the NATO powers, including with nuclear weapons. What does that sound like to you guys? Well, it sounds like World War III. That is exactly what it sounds like. Using nuclear weapons only. They didn't say anything about that they would travel to the United States and fight us on land. They didn't say anything about they would fight the United States military on land in Russia. They didn't say anything like that. They only said that they would respond directly with nuclear weapons. And we've already talked about how Russia is willing and excitedly ready to use their nuclear weapons program. And then also they have the backings of North Korea, which have been sending out multiple threats to the United States as well in relation to their nuclear weapons program. And then now we are seeing that Russia is helping Iran directly develop and bolster their own program. So now you have three different countries are ready to battle the United States specifically, as well as European countries and NATO with nuclear weapons. How will this all happen? How will this all play out? Well, it is going to be a bloody mess. I'll tell you, no one really wins when it comes to a war, guys. You already know, you already read about it. You've already seen the pictures, the old pictures of how the destruction relates to a war. We have seen what happened in Ukraine, and that is what is considered a small war. But this one could be the mother of all. And speaking the mother of all, check this out right here. It says that Russia is threatening about using the father of all bombs on Ukraine. That is as a lethal as a nuke strike can get. Guys, they mean business, and these are not your typical threats that we have seen in the past coming directly from Russia. These are escalated threats, guys. These are really serious. So yes, this is something that we need to be worried about. This is something that we need to prepare for. So yes, in addition to that, they are not just only talking about using nuclear weapons in this day and age. They are also talking about using technology. And I am talking about the internet. Yes, using the internet from Russia. The Russian hackers have already been working on ways and trying to infiltrate our infrastructures in the United States, such as shutting down our electrical grid, shutting down our water grid. What else can they shut down here? Can you imagine the United States being able to operate without any of those? We would pretty much be helpless. Can you even imagine something like that happening? But anyways, that is exactly what these other countries have been working on. And so far, I don't know that the United States is working on shutting down the infrastructure in other countries, but they are definitely working on the United States shutting us down and then attacking us with nuclear weapons. If they end up sending a missile over after they shut down our electrical grid, we pretty much can't defend ourselves. We pretty much can't protect ourselves. We cannot protect the civilians in this country, and it is going to be massive. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to know how the results would end in this, but I do want to share this information with you today just so you know exactly what is happening right now on the grounds and in these other countries and what they're talking about. And all of it is related to destroying the United States. Like I said, we could be on the verge of going to World War III, and now the United States is preparing. The UK is preparing. European countries are preparing. But will it be enough is the question. I don't even have the answer for you guys, but outside of all of that, I hope all this information was helpful and important to you today. If so, comment down below. Let me know, as well as hit the like button on this video. And then as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you part of the Budget Bill family. But outside of all that, I hope to see you on the next video.